What is up, YouTube, and welcome to the Extra Point. I am Hunter, along with my co-host Nick. How are you doing, Nick?
Good as always, Hunter. How are you?
And I'm doing fantastic.
Fantastic. That's what I thought.
Welcome to episode 6 of the Extra Point. This week's topics. How many topics do we have today, Nick?
We actually have 4 topics today.
4
That's almost
topics.
5.
It is almost 5, but it is 4 topics. First topic of the day is the MLB recap of the first quarter of the season and what we think. If we had to end the season right now, who would be in the World Series, who would be in the playoffs, and who are the better teams? Topics 2, or technically topics 2 and 3 if you want to dissect them. Eastern Conference, Western Conference of the NBA, and who is going to the finals. Third topic of the day is the Steelers. We have the Steelers. Are they in a rebuilding stage? And how are they going to do this coming season? And then topic number 4, another AFC North team, the Browns. Cleveland Browns, a very hot team going into the 2019 season. Will they be a phenomenal team is what people are saying. And how will they do? Without further ado, Nick,
Yes.
topic number 1, MLB. Let's get it started.
All right. So we are basically 40 games, about a quarter of the way through the season. The second episode, we talked a lot about about teams struggling, mainly Red Sox, Yankees, and the hottest teams. At the time, Red Sox were the worst team in the league. Yankees were one of the worst,
Yep.
and I believe the Phillies and the Seattle Mariners were two of the best teams in the league.
Correct.
However, 40 games in, things have completely changed. As of recent, I'd say the last 2 weeks or so, the Red Sox and Yankees have both been rolling. Red Sox finally got back up above 500. Sales back to normal with 17 strikeouts in 7 innings the other day. No one's ever done that before. That is phenomenal. I'm sure he would have done more if he were had a pitch count of like 120. But he has to pitch his next outing, so we don't want to make his arm fall off. Yankees are starting to come around. Andrew Harback on the IL. That's not good.
It's
They did
fine.
get Aaron Hicks back, and the team is playing very well. They're first in their division. We hop over to the NL. Really, only one team stands out to me in the National League, and that is going to be obviously the Dodgers. Believe as of yesterday, them and the Astros had the best records in the league, their respective leagues, and they still do. I think the Astros now have one up on them in wins. Um, a lot of things have changed. I would say if the season ended today, I think we would still see an AL. We'll still see what I would say are the three best teams in the league: Astros, Yankees, Red Sox. In the NL, I think we would see the Brewers and the Dodgers leading the way. Um, Anyone outside of that range, they're more, the Braves maybe, and the Phillies could also grind their way to a wild card spot as well. From that being said, the Sox and Yanks do not compare to how the Astros are playing right now. They're really not even close. Astros have won 16 games. They're 16-4 at home this year.
Yep.
They have one of the best defensive teams in the league so far. Garrett Cole seems like honestly, a Cy Young award winner. He is on top of his game, probably the best we've ever seen him. Before Sale's big outing the last few games, I think he was leading at least the AL in strikeouts, keeping a low EAR or ERA. And of course, Verlander, he's doing what he's always done. He's consistent. He's one of the best pitchers in the league again. I think in the AL, if the season ended today, you would see the Astros representing the American League in the World Series. Go to the NL. I think it's more of a separation. I think looking at what happened last year to the teams we have this year, I think the Braves could get out of the first round. However, if they were to meet with Milwaukee or with LA, they could get swept. I think we'll see the same NL matchups we did last year for the most part. I don't see the Brewers as taking anything away from the Dodgers yet, simply because they're really the same team. Christian Yelich is phenomenal. He's an MVP caliber again. Currently leads the league in home runs. He's playing great all around baseball. Probably a number one MVP candidate right now. But the Dodgers' offense in total is phenomenal. I forgot the stat. Man, Cody Bellinger has been on a tear. He's been getting RBIs left and right. He has the best percentage right now, best numbers in the league right now with runners in scoring position. They are very explosive, and I would say if the season ended today in the NL, we would have the Dodgers representing National League in the World Series. So I'm kind of throwing it back to 2017, a little Astros versus Dodgers rematch in the World Series. And I think once again from 2017, it would be the Astros overtaking them, except this time it would not be a 7-game series, closer to a sweep by the Astros. They are looking really good this year. One thing I would say about that is their defense is phenomenal. I know that the Dodgers have, I believe, now the best offense in the league. I believe they have surpassed the Mariners, who have kind of stalemated from their hot start. The Dodgers don't have consistent defense. They struggle often at times. I remember they had 4 straight games. They actually had 6 runs, and they lost 3 of them. So that's not exactly consistent defensively. Not great pitching. Defense wins championships. The season ended today. The Houston Astros would be world champions. What do you think, Hunter? I feel like I was on point with all of it. Let's see if you screw it up. I want to hear what you got to say.
I agree 100%. I really do. The
Dude.
Astros are leading with a point differential of 87 runs, or run differential of 87 positive runs.
Yep.
Defense, phenomenal. Pull up a stat. 158 runs allowed, which is one of the fewest in the league. And 245 runs scored, which is one of the most in the league. By far, the Astros, and I hate to say it because the Yankees can never beat the Astros. By far, Astros, best team in the league, and probably will continue to be the best team in the league throughout this season.
Okay.
That brings me to a lot of people are saying the Rays. The Rays are another hot topic. To me, the Rays have got a good record with a 26-15, but they aren't really. I don't see them being a top 5 tier team. I still think they're going to finish below the Red Sox and Yankees come season ending time. They're playing good right now, but they just play the Yankees, an injured Yankees team, best of 3 series, and the Yankees won it. So I would say the Astros are going to be my number 1 team. Number 2 team, I would have to put up the Dodgers. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the number 3 team for me is going to be the Cubs. I like what the Cubs are doing.
They're on
Cubs
a
are scoring runs, and their defense is being really, really good, allowing 159 runs. Very good team. So I'm going to say Astros, Dodgers, Cubs. Red Sox and Yankees. Red Sox still haven't proven to me. They've come along these past 2 weeks, but they're still struggling. I'm sorry, Nick, but they're still struggling in a way. Yankees, I feel more confident on just because of they're injured. The Yankees are still winning games and winning series while injured. Andahar, not a big blow. All right, I feel bad saying it, but Andahar, no. Urshela is killing it at third base. Fielding, a way better fielder than Andahar is, and batting, way better at batting than Andahar is. Maybe it might just be this season, but Andahar is not. No, I like Gleyber Torres a whole lot more.
Not yet. If he comes off the IL and actually has enough time to play some games, he is way better than Urshela. But anyway,
could be. But what Urshela is showing right now, just keep Andahar down, and he's out for the season. So I'm okay with that. An injured Yankees team, hopefully they get better and they'll be back to top form. I'm still waiting to see what the Red Sox are gonna show me. Sale coming back and pitching 17 strikeouts and having 2 good games, 2 past games that he's started, played really good. So he's coming back to form, it looks like. But yeah, Astros, untouchable. You're not going to beat them. Dodgers, same thing in the National League. Are the best team in the National League. And the Cubs, I would say, is the second, but they're not really even close. Nothing compares to the Dodgers and Astros. It's kind of a blowout right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And really, I say it's a blowout for those two, but even if you take the Dodgers as being top two, there's a substantial difference between them and the Astros.
Yes.
If there were a series, they would get smacked around. They're playing hot right now. It is a long season, so we'll have to come back to that topic at the midway point. We'll see where we were and see if we were right on anything.
Well, the thing is with the Dodgers, we at the beginning said that they're probably going to have the best pitching core in the league. But right now, the Astros are scoring more runs than anybody in the league, and they're allowing less runs than anybody in the league. So they have the best pitching core right now, statistically, in the
Yeah,
league. They
Garrett
are just
Cole.
unstoppable right now, and both
And
sides, offense and defense.
what's impressive is they lost Keuchel, who still is a free agent, by the way.
Hmm.
Apparently, he wants $1 million a second, but that's a different story. Yeah, they lost Dallas Keuchel, who honestly is at least I'd say top 10 pitcher in the league. And Garrett Cole stepped right in and said, "I got it, guys." He has filled the role beautifully, and yeah, they're just playing great baseball. They've won their last, I think, 4 or 5 series in a row, so they are hot right now.
Did you say earlier that you think Atlanta was going to squeak in there?
I do, yeah. That's my pick. I know they're struggling right now, but I was trying to stay consistent with my actual picks going into everything. Even with looking at like the Red Sox, I know their record is only I think 2 or 3 games above 500. But when I look at how they've been playing the last few weeks, they are playing substantially better than what they were before. And the Braves, somewhat, have been doing okay. I know they had that spell where they lost several series in a row, and that kind of put them in a hole in their division. But roster wise, look on their team, they're not injured in any crazy way. I still think they're a good team.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the difference between the Red Sox and the Red Sox are scoring runs, unlike the Braves, who aren't really scoring. And
Yeah.
not to mention, the Braves pitching core is horrible right now.
Well,
Horrible.
as expected, yeah, the offense is what's doing it for them because on paper they do have I mean they should have one of the best offenses in the National League, and you're right, they are average at best right now.
Yeah.
But still, looking at their roster, if it ended today, if they were able to make it to the playoffs, I think they could be somewhat of a contender, maybe even win the wild card round.
So looking back at our week two, was it predictions? So we both said Yankees, or we said Astros, Yankees, Red Sox, or Red Sox, the top three.
Right.
And you had the Braves in there. I had the Cubs, and then we both had the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Correct. So honestly, pretty tight. We got our first four correct. It's just a matter of the Braves and the Cubs. It's just a flip flop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a quarter in the season. Still a lot more baseball to play, but for the most part, we got it
Definitely.
right. We got it on the money right now.
Definitely the Astros, though. I think there's
Oh,
no
it's not even
competition there.
close.
They are the best team in the league right now. They can't be beat.
And it
And the
really
Red Sox have to
irritates
face
me.
them in their next series coming up, so a little nervous there.
Yeah, well, you should be because they killed
I know.
us.
I know.
It was bad. But yeah, so Astros, 100%.
Yep.
Moving on to the NBA, Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals. Do we really have to go into the Western?
Hunter, we actually don't really need to go into the Eastern. The Bucks and the Warriors were clearly the best teams at the end of the regular season, and they're clearly the best teams left out of these four.
Right.
Congrats on the Raptors and the Blazers for successful seasons. Final four, that's great. They made it to their respective championship
But
games.
y'all are going to get
Both,
destroyed. Let me go ahead and finish your sentence for you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, both teams honestly should and more than likely will get swept. The Bucks have too full of a bench. They're all playing really well. They are too big for any team. They're too big for the Raptors. They
Yep.
cannot handle them down low, unless you are shooting the lights out, unless you have 5 Steph Currys on the court at the same time, you're not going to win games because they're going to make you shoot the basketball. They're the best team down low in the paint, both offensively and defensively. Cannot be stopped down there. I think they're going to get a sweep on the Raptors. Go back to the Warriors. Kevin Durant still being out. It doesn't matter. He could be out.
Yeah.
They could have rested of the series, whether he was hurt or not, and they still get the sweep. They won by what, 24 points the other day?
Around that.
No KD, no problem. They have Steph Curry, 3-time champ, Klay Thompson, 3-time champ, Draymond Green. These guys have been here, done that. They're going to the finals. Is that the recap we were looking for?
I saw this little meme. It was Golden State Warriors. It showed a picture of Kevin Durant, and it was like, when you realize the Warriors picked you up not to have you on the team, but to get you off of Oklahoma City. Because they don't really need Kevin Durant. They just needed him not to be on another team.
They won 72 games without him. They don't need him.
No, they don't.
I mean,
they just don't need another threat out there.
Yeah, they have probably the best coach in the league. They have the best leader in the league in Steph Curry, a couple of the best shooters in the league. What else can you ask for? I mean, they're the best team. So now that we breezed through the Western and Eastern Conference championships, because we already know exactly what's going on there, Hunter, Bucks or Warriors, who will win the finals this year?
Okay, so going back, I don't think it's going to be a sweep both times. I think the Warriors will give up 1 or 2 games just because they can play crappy here and there. Bucks, they're not going to get a sweep. They'll lose 1, maybe 2. Same thing as the Warriors. Just not flukes, but stuff happens, penalties, whatnot. I don't know. So, but yeah, Warriors and Bucks will win definitely. I'm going to go with Warriors. Obviously, the Warriors are a team built just. You're not going to beat that. It's a dynasty that they've made, and it's literally it is possibly one of the best teams in NBA history put together right now. I would say one of.
They are somewhat comparable to the 90s Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Somewhat. But their dynasty very well could end, and I'm predicting it will. Well, not maybe end, but their reign will be over. They will not three-peat, strictly because of Giannis and the Bucks.
Well, yeah, the Bucks, they do have a good team. I mean, they're big, and they can shoot outside the paint.
They had 4 wins in the regular season.
But still,
so when it's Bucks v. Warriors, the Bucks will have home court. Yep. They have that going for them.
Which they will win that.
And even I suppose if you include regular and postseason, they still have the best defense in the league, giving up the least points, especially in the paint. They're also still the biggest team in the league. So you look at all 32 teams, they have been the biggest. They've been the best defensively and the best in the paint, both offensively and defensively all year. Now, one thing they'll have to worry about, obviously, is the Warriors' shooting abilities. But defensive rebounding is what is going to win championships. We could talk about Steph dropping dimes and, 40-point games in finals, or we can talk about how him and Kevin Durant would hold the Cavs to 90 points. 90 points is phenomenal number to give up in the NBA. It's comparable to a 40-point game in college. It's lockdown defense. They did it all last 3 finals. They lost the one from Kyrie Irving on a very clutch shot. But defense wins championships. The better defense is the Bucks. Now, do they have the experience? No. Do they have great players? Yes. Giannis will be the factor. He cannot be stopped. There is not one person that can stop Giannis. The guy can't even shoot threes. He can't even shoot a respectable mid-range jumper or a freaking free throw. But he still gets like 20 points, at least 20 points a game, at least 8 to 10 rebounds a game, and at least 3 to 4 blocks a game.
Just give them another year or 2 to develop.
No,
like you said, it's a younger team.
They have developed. They've gotten better each year.
Still,
the Warriors have kind of the Warriors are at a stalemate. They're at a stalemate. Their peak is here. The Warriors have built up. I mean, the Bucks have built up, and they're a better team. overall team wise, they are better. I realize Steph Curry is Steph Curry, and he has, the history. They've won 3 finals, trying to win 3 in a row. They could do it. If a team's going to do that, it would be this Warriors team. However, the Bucks are not a joke, and you will wait and see. They
I'm not
will
saying
win.
they're a joke. It will go down to like a game 6 or 7. But I still
But
think
see,
it's the Warriors.
now you
At
saying
the
that, so
beginning of
you
the
think the
season, I'm like,
Warriors could beat the Bucks in Milwaukee in a game 7? It's home court. They're not. That's
okay, you
what's
got me
different
there.
about this year.
You
They
got
have
me
had
there.
home court the past like 4 years. That is not the case this year.
You got me there. Okay. I still think the Warriors are gonna win. Period. It's the
Technically,
Warriors.
disagree. It's Giannis. It's the Bucks. The guys on 2K. Come on.
You're right. That's the difference maker right there.
It is. I mean, if you're on 2K, you're just destined to be traded from the Steelers or to lose the Super Bowl to the Eagles. It's whatever. It's just the last 2 Madden covers. Anyway, so
All right. Well, since you're starting, all right. So I said Warriors. You said Bucks. Back in
Bucks all the way.
baseball, we both said Astros. Now, since you brought up Madden coverage, we're gonna go to football, even though we're not talking about Madden, and that is the drama queen. Horrible showing in the offseason. Don't know what the office and head coach is doing. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
What
I want to
the
talk
hell
about the Steelers.
are they doing? And
Okay,
is it for the good?
what are they doing? Yeah, it's for the good. They're making their team better. You
Mhm.
get rid of Brown, you don't need him. He's great talent, but you can do without just a dominant receiver. There's other parts of the game they can use. They still have a good quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. They're essentially they've gotten rid of their problem and replaced it with better, younger versions. They get rid of Le'Veon Bell, who wants more, who wants all the money in the world. Fine, go to the Jets, get your money. We have James Conner. We're fine. James Conner's an all-star. He's a great running back. So what? See ya, AB. We got Juju Smith-Schuster, man. I think they have done a great job. They trashed what they needed to. The only question I have for the Steelers in the offseason is Mike Tomlin. You do not like Mike Tomlin at all. You can't stand him. You're going to hate me for saying it, but he really does have a lot of football knowledge. His problem is that he's a player's coach. That's why Brown and Bell became the way they were. He's a player's coach. He lets them get away with things, and he develops, guys like Brown and Bell, great talent, terrible personalities, bad habits. He lets them get away with that. He is a smart coach. He has proven himself before. I mean, 3, 4 years ago, we used to look
Okay.
at the Steelers and go, "Yeah, these guys could win the Super Bowl, and it wouldn't shock anybody." Yes, okay, sure. They go to the playoffs every year. They go to the playoff. Well, except last year. Almost last year doesn't count. That was the
Hey,
downfall.
I have a question.
What?
Who do they lose to every year in the playoffs, and what and how do they lose?
Okay, so they lose to the Pats for the most part, or
And how do they lose?
Pats.
Just a random question.
Yeah, they get their ass kicked, Hunter. But listen, okay, it
No,
doesn't
but
matter.
what? But if it is a close game, how do they lose if it is a close game? I just want to let you enlighten the people
Their
on that.
tight end drops the damn football in the end zone. That's how they lose. I don't know what you're asking me here.
Or the game before that, when Big Ben was just supposed to spike it or call a timeout, and Mike Tomlin's yelling in his ear, "Go for it," when you don't need to. And in the press conference, instead of kicking a field goal and going into overtime and possibly getting the ball first and scoring because the Pats don't have a defense, they go, "No, Mike
Pats
Tomlin,
don't have a
Mike
defense.
Tomlin, I'm going for the win." Ben Roethlisberger throws a pick in the end zone, obviously because nobody knew what they were doing, and game over. That's the smart coach that Mike Tomlin is. He does
Who
not,
is who
absolutely
is
does
Ben
not
Roethlisberger?
know how to win a game. He
Who
has
is Ben
talent on his team.
Roethlisberger trying to throw the football to, Hunter? He was trying to force it to Antonio Brown. You know how many times Brown
That was the
would
only player
yell
that ran a route. They only had, I think, one receiver on the field. They had a tight end, and they did a quick slant to
at a
Brown
tight end
in four
and
in
two
triple
other
coverage.
receivers? And the other receivers did run routes. They just weren't open. Neither was Brown. He no longer has Antonio Brown that's going to go, me, give me the ball, or I'm going to cry and complain. He has that off his shoulders. He can lead his team now. Antonio Brown used to think he was the face of the Steelers. As a quarterback, it's Ben Roethlisberger. He can now go back to leading his team instead of being the number 2 or 3 guy behind Bell and Brown. He's a great quarterback. Would you
He is.
disagree with him?
He's a good quarterback. Yes. I don't think. No, I
You're
don't
kidding.
think because he has at least 3 or 4 games where he'll throw 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions every single year.
That's not true.
That's
I
not true.
said Big Ben, not freaking Eli Manning. I said Ben
Okay,
Roethlisberger.
yeah, Eli, but
This
no, Big Ben as
Eli.
well. He'll do that a
Okay,
couple a couple times a year. But no, going back to Mike Tomlin, the only reason that he has been successful, and this goes on record, and I am 100% backing this. He might have a good record. He might have a good backstory. Assistant coach. He's the youngest coach to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, whatever. He has talent on that team, and that is the only reason that he has won. His coaching ability is nothing. He is not really
okay,
football smart.
but he
He
does
has
have
ability on that team,
that. I
talent.
disagree.
He has talent. That is the
I
only
think
reason that he has won this amount because he's had the same team for Lord knows how long. And not to mention all the Hall of Famers he has had on the Steelers. Think of how many Steelers Hall of Famers. Hines Ward, Antonio Brown will be a Hall of Famer, Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, Troy Polamalu. I mean, goodness, especially the Super Bowl team that he had when they faced the Cardinals. I mean, come on now.
well,
It's
okay, if he would have lost that Super Bowl, then you can say, yeah, he kind of blows it, but he didn't. He
and Ben
didn't.
Roethlisberger threw it to Hines Ward in the corner of the
He
end
look,
zone
he
with a
also has to
beautiful
face.
catch.
You want to talk about losing to the Pats? He has to face freaking Bill Belichick, who is the greatest coach of all time. You're
Yeah.
comparing him to guys like that. You can't do that because there's only one. He, compare him to other coaches in the league. I think you can put him on most other teams in the league, and they would be successful. Not necessarily champions, but they would make the playoffs. They would have above 500 seasons on a consistent basis. And he got rid of 2 major problems in Brown and Bell and replaced them with younger, I wouldn't say better yet, but could be better players, and Smith Schuster and James Conner, both of which who have good attitudes and have proven themselves on and off the football field. That's going to
I
help Ben
am going to agree
Roethlisberger.
with what you
He can.
said.
Okay.
I do like the getting rid of Antonio Brown. I like that. All right, he wasn't even going to show up to practice. What's the point? Just cut him or trade him. The Le'Veon Bell signing, he wanted to leave. What are you going to do? Yeah, cut him. I want another year for James Conner. I'm not going to get sold on him right now and be like, oh my God, he's great. Give him another year. If he does good this year, okay, get it.
Last year, he
Huh?
was phenomenal this year.
He did. But like I've said with quarterbacks, they have one good year and everybody flips. And then the next year, what do? They tank. Same thing with a
So,
running back. Just
are you
wait.
expecting Patrick Mahomes to tank this year?
I didn't say that. But I'm
You just
not going to go
the
and
same.
pay Patrick Mahomes a $100 million contract for 6 years after he's played one year. It's not going to happen. Same thing with
Okay,
James Conner.
I'm not talking about money, and neither one of them have been paid a bunch of money. I'm just saying, as leaders, they're both going to have Smith Schuster and Connor are now the number one back and receiver. You've replaced 2 problems with 2 attitudes with
Right?
great skill level for 2 good attitude players with almost as much skill level and that can develop because they're young.
Oh yeah,
If he can
I like
coach
it.
them well, I think their team's going to be great. I thought their GM did a great job getting Devin Bush to temporarily replace Ryan Shazier, who, by the way, congratulations on him. He was dancing at his wedding the other day when he was partially paralyzed, so that's cool.
Yes.
But I thought the team got better by losing those 2, knowing they have backups and replacements for them. If he can do a decent job coaching this year, I think they could win. I think they could grab 10 wins. I think they can definitely make the playoffs with that. And I think they could be the back to a championship caliber team in the near future. And I think this year could be a successful year. I think they won the offseason.
Uh, I'm going to go ahead and put my ending factor in there. They will have a losing record this year. I do like the
Whoa.
James Conner. I do like the. I'll let you know why. I do like the James Conner. I hope he is a good guy, and I hope he can prove himself this year. Uh, he had a good year last year, but let's give it time. Let's see if he can do it 2 years in a row. Juju Smith-Schuster, always liked him. Hope he does well. Ben Roethlisberger's a good quarterback. He will develop them too. The defense is looking promising, like they've always been. I mean, they've always been a good defense. Offensive line's still steady. But the reason they will have a neutral to a losing record, they are going to be facing the Browns twice, the Ravens twice, who had the best defense last year. They will be facing the Patriots, the Colts, the Rams, the Jets, the Chargers, the Seahawks, which is a hit or miss. They've got a pretty difficult schedule. So
Yeah,
I can see
that's a tough
them.
one.
I can see them being neutral to losing record, not because of the bad team, but Mike Tomlin, to me, not a very good coach. He's had talent. Now this is the time where his skill players have left. Now how is he going to develop this team and build them up and make them better? Now is where he is. He doesn't have the star players anymore. Now he needs the coach.
But he does have star players. He replaced them. You lose those two guys, you
Young
literally
players.
replace, but they're still talented
Not to
players.
mention Ben
You'll
Roethlisberger's 37
see
years
after
old.
this,
He's
who cares?
his contract's probably going
Tom
to end soon
Brady's
too.
90 years old. He can still throw the football. Ben
Ben Roethlisberger's
Roethlisberger's
not Tom
got a
Brady.
cannon. He can still throw it. He can still get 5,000 yards in a season. Easy. He's one of the better He's the top. He's still. I'd say he's probably about the fifth best quarterback in the league. He's still. I'd take him over most quarterbacks. He's still a good quarterback.
All right, so you're
Anyway,
saying they will have a winning record, and
I'm saying at least 10 wins in the playoffs, and they will make the playoffs.
I'm saying neutral to losing record, just because the schedule and
Okay.
Mike Tomlin is not a really good coach in my eyes. Anyway, Cleveland Browns. The Steelers and Cleveland Browns, both NFC North teams that have been talked about the most this NFL, besides, the New York Giants' great draft. So, how are they going to do this season? And is there a lot of drama going to follow them and follow this team into this season with the players that they have acquired?
Yeah, the drama's going to be ridiculous. They are essentially, we just talked about drama. They are replacing the Steelers' drama with their own. Forever, the AFC North will be drama filled as long as, first of all, Jarvis Landry is underratedly, he's a big crybaby to me. I think he cries just as
It
much as
sucks in
Odell
fantasy
does.
too.
Yeah, I, you know what? I agree. I've had him the last 3 seasons, thinking maybe, but yeah, he really has screwed me over. Anyway, him and Odell are two of the biggest babies and great great talents. Much like Antonio Brown and Bell, they have two of the biggest babies on the sideline and even on the field. They both complain to refs. They run their mouths. They've both been in multiple, I guess, fights or tussles, you can say, on the field. They're a bad habit. They have great talent, but they're a bad habit. Problem with that is, much like I said, I agree Tomlin isn't the best coach, but he's a player's coach. I think the Browns' season and future will depend on their head coach. He is offensive minded, so I think their offense, if we want to get technical with football, and we'll get away from the drama aspect, football wise, he was an offensive coordinator, so he's a very knowledgeable offensive coach. Looking at their offensive roster, not to mention week 8, they'll be having Kareem Hunt um, along with Chubb in the backfield, Kareem Hunt and Chubb, and then you'll have Landry and Odell for Baker Mayfield to throw to. Those are 5 great players in my eyes. So their offense, if it can be, top tier, top 5 or 6 in the league as far as maybe points go, dude, they can be good. They can be a playoff team this year. I think they're going to go above 500 anyway. I think they can win. Like I said, the Steelers, a similar goal. I think they can make playoffs. I think they can win 10 games. Looking at their defense, not quite as sharp. I thought they had a big blow losing Jamie Collins to the Patriots because I know he's a lot of money and they freed up some cap space, but they just lost their leading tackler from 2018-2019 season, had 104 tackles. They lost a good pass rush. They lost a great safety in the trade with Odell. They didn't have a single first round pick this year. And their defense really, I think, got worse. Their offense got way better, but their defense got worse. That being said, with a good offense, if their defense can play to their best of their ability, which I think is maybe like 15th mid pack in the league, then they can be successful. I'd say 10 wins in the playoffs. But their coach, I do not know anything about this coach. It depends. If he can handle the Odell and Landry thing okay, then yeah, they'll be good. If he can't, this will be a disappointing season.
They do have a easier schedule than the Steelers. They don't play the Colts. That's a plus. But they do have a really talented offense. Apparently, Jarvis Landry and Odell, they're really, really good friends, but I am just dying to see how long that friendship's going to pan out when one of them wants to know or is going to say, hey, I'm the number one receiver. Can't wait. It's going to be great. But like you said, getting off the drama aspect, great quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Hopefully he can prove that again this year. He did great last year, and I love the guy. They do have Nick Chubb as a running back, and Kareem Hunt will come back after 8 games. Nick Chubb, I don't know why they got Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb's a really good running back. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess to add depth, but I think they have Duke Johnson as well. So yeah, good offense, decent offensive line, good receivers, good quarterback, good running back. So and a head coach that is offensive minded. Going on the defensive side, I do agree with what you said. They still do have Myles Garrett. They picked up Sheldon Richardson and Olivier Vernon.
Give me a break.
But that isn't, a lot to what they have lost. Jamie Collins was a big loss. But they did pick up Steve Wilks, who is a great defensive coordinator. I mean, I'm not really being biased here with the Panthers, but he was a really good defensive coordinator, and I hate that we lost him. But I think he'll do decent job with the defense. They might not have, a top tier defense, but it'll be enough if they can score points on the offensive side.
It can be the mid. Yeah, that's exactly right. They can be like a mid pack, not be the freaking Raiders from last year. If they can stay as far away from that as possible, just give their offense a chance. With their offense as good as they are, team wise, that's the recipe for success.
Right. And to me, the deciding factor is going to be Odell and Jarvis Landry. That's the deciding factor for this team in my eyes. As well as the head coach, it kind of plays along with it. But Odell and Jarvis Landry have had histories of them not winning games, and they just get tired of it, and basically they look like they just give up.
Yeah.
And if things don't go to plan, which a lot of things don't, how are they going to react to those losses, especially those close, tough losses that Odell has faced with the Giants? Maybe Baker Mayfield has a bad game. How are they going to pick Baker up and cheer him on, or are they just going to, down him, kind of like Odell did to Eli? I'm not saying he did, but it kind of looked like he did.
Well, honestly, Hunter, I think we all do. We all did to Eli, and it's fine if you do.
That's true.
But Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Eli Manning already in his career. I agree with you in that their attitudes will reflect and will decide on the season, but the attitudes can be changed or at least controlled depending on how the coach handles it. So if their coach, I forget his name, not Kitchens, if he can control that, if they want to do all their dancing and all that crap when they get a touchdown, that's one thing. They want to go to the cameras on the sideline and throw up, and talk to the camera saying how great they are. That's cocky, but that's fine. It's just the tantrums, the
Or they could
fighting.
fight
They're
a
undisciplined,
net.
you know. Yeah, they could fight a net and get their ass kicked by one. Yeah, that's right. Odell knows a lot about that. So
Yep, he does. I do see them doing well in their division. I see them winning it just because the Ravens, Lamar Jackson is. This can be another topic because I know people that disagree with this. Lamar Jackson, I don't think is a good quarterback, but I
great running
think
back.
the offense will overpower or the Browns offense will overpower the Ravens defense because that's the only thing the Ravens have going for them, and will win the division. Obviously, that gets them in the playoffs, but I don't see them making it far in the playoffs, just because you have the Chiefs, the Chargers, possibly Oakland, Patriots, whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I see them, like you said, winning about 10 games maybe, doing well in their division, and yeah, not doing too bad, not too shabby.
Yeah. I agree 100%. They're both Steelers and Browns futures to me depends on coaching. You're leaning toward more towards the players and personnel. I'm going more towards the coaching factor. And I think you said the Browns, you think they'll win the division? I think the Steelers are going to be better. I think the Steelers are going to turn heads this year. They lose a couple players, everyone goes nuts, and they think they're done. But I think they got better by doing so,
That's not
and
the reason.
I think they're going to be better than the Browns in the end, or at least beat them out for first in the AFC North. I can say that. So we'll see.
That's not the reason I think they're going to lose, but okay. All right, yeah, good episode, a very heated episode.
Yeah,
We do have
yeah, I know. I'm over here some sweating, man. God, you got me all
sweating.
worked up.
I'm getting in your
Yeah,
mind that much. That's what I'm doing. I'm just
no, no,
dissecting
you're
you.
not.
No, that's not what I'm doing.
No,
Okay. So
I'm
yeah, good episode. We had 4 good topics, I feel. Shout out to Connor and Canyon. Canyon hit me with some good stats, and Canyon with the Pittsburgh Steelers topic, Connor with the Browns topic. Appreciate that. If y'all give us some more topics, we'll shout you out at the end of the episode.
yeah.
What was the topics we were gonna possibly do later on? Oh yeah, we were gonna get into some
Believe
arguments
we're
later.
going to see. I believe we were going to see. Well, you were going to try and convince me that the reason for the Patriots' success is Bill Belichick. I was going to laugh and tell you why it's Tom Brady, but we'll get into that on another day. That'll be
Yep.
fun. I already
So
can't wait for that one.
we're gonna make a episode of strictly Panther, Patriots, Red Sox, Yankees, just to see how far we can go at each other. I feel like it'd be a pretty fun one. So we'll do that sometime. Maybe not next episode, but later on, whatnot.
Yeah.
So anything you need to say before we end this show?
Nope. It was a great episode, and you really got me excited for that whole Tom Brady Bill Belichick thing. I can't wait for that one.
I
We got
can't
to
either.
do that. We got to do that as soon as possible.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the topics and the Twitter, Instagram, whatnot, and all the views. Appreciate it. Everything helps. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week for episode 7, and we will catch you later.
All right. Deuces.